Welcome back to Bear Cave Watch Reviews. I'm your host, Papa Bear, and it's a great day to review a watch. Today I'm going to review a watch that has been a part of my personal collection for a little bit of time. What is it? Well, it has a really long, boring designation, and some of you probably have never seen or heard of it, so let's open up this travel box and see what's in it. All right, let's open this up real quick. That's satisfying zipper sound. All right. That's a lot of black in that picture. This watch isn't vintage or even new, but I can say that I haven't seen many reviews on YouTube over the past few years on this type of watch. And there's probably a reason for that, of course. If you've ever watched any of the old watch shows on Shop NBC, then you'll recognize the brand Swiss Legend. And it sounds pretty cool, right? To some it was, and to some it probably still is. To others, it's just another brand that was being pumped out to the masses on the airwaves of Shop NBC. And it just didn't seem to be for everyone. And that would actually include myself. So I really did love watching the watch shows on Shop NBC. And I really enjoyed just seeing all the different types of watches. But I couldn't bring myself to order one of these. And I'll tell you why in this review. This one just wasn't an exception to me, all right? So it looked a little big. It didn't really fit my style. It was ceramic. It was kind of gaudy. And, you know, what happened is that somewhere along the last few years, I allowed myself to try something different. And then I was able to get this watch from somebody. I am the second owner of this watch. So I want to tell you a little bit more about it. Swiss Legend is a brand that, I don't know, it gets some hate just because it was on Shop NBC, but it's got some really nice pieces. You know, like all watches, it's all subjective. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like usual. I'm going to go over the specs of the watch. I'm going to tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I don't like about the watch and whether or not it gets the seal of approval, you know, that Bear Cave seal of approval that I give watches at the end. So, all right, so this is actually called the Swiss Legend Throttle, and this is the black ceramic 10028 version. This watch in particular is about 10 years old, maybe 11 years old, and this particular example is in really good shape. As you can see, the IP is still really done up very well. The carbon fiber on the bezel, still in good shape. The glass, still in good shape. That mother of pearl catches some light, and it's still moving. So case-wise, 46 millimeter case. That's right, I said 46 millimeter. It's about 12 millimeters thick. It is very heavy. Ceramic black case, bracelet. The band is 28 millimeters. It's a big band, all right? Again, it's a very big watch. The crystal, on some websites, it says that it's sapphire. On others, it says that it's sapphire coated. So we'll just go with sapphire and move on from that. It does get a lot of glare, though, so we know there's not a lot of anti-reflective anything on it. Date display over there at the 4. Movement. It's a Swiss quartz movement. And as you can see there, it does say Swiss movement. So who knows? Maybe it's actually a fully Swiss-made watch. At least that's what they said when they were selling it. It does have butterfly clasp, which I like and I don't like, and I'll go over that in a minute. So it's a really interesting watch, to say the least. What I really like about it, let's start with this, and start with the fact that it's from the Shop NBC days and it's still running. So that right there is a big plus. It's still ticking, it's still going. Sometimes you buy a watch from the TV or online and it doesn't last very long. This one's over 10 years old and it's still ticking, and that's a big thing. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Swiss movement. Is it a fully Swiss-made watch? Well, there's a lot of different things that go into that. I know we've spoken about this before and other reviewers have talked about it. If a certain amount of parts are made in Swiss made, or if they're assembled, then it can be Swiss made. So it just depends. We'll just go with it saying Swiss movement. as well as it's called Swiss Legend. It does have applied indices, as you can tell. It does have the Arabic 12, 3, and 6. And it does have the 24-hour, or I don't know if it's 24-hour actually. Now that I think about it, I've never used the chronograph feature on this watch. So now I'm going to put it on just to show you. When I bought this watch, the first owner actually almost had the same wrist as me, so it just fits right. It is a big watch, as you can see, but it does fit. Not a lot of wiggle room, but it fits. A lot of glare, but it fits. All right, so let's go over some other things that I like about it. Like I said, it does come with sapphire crystal, so that is a plus. I personally like the mother of pearl on there. I think it's very cool, and that again is personal choice. But in my opinion, I do like it. And again, this watch is not for everyone, and I can appreciate that. Overall, it does seem to be a pretty well-built watch. I mean, it's been tough, even though, to be honest, I've only worn this about 5 times in the years that I've owned it. It's sat in my watch box. It's a kind of a special kind of watch that you have to be very particular about wearing, because there's no way this is an everyday watch. All right. Now, what do I not like? And here's the thing about this section while I go through this. You got to remember something about this watch. It's over a decade old, and when the original owner of this watch purchased it, they probably had a different sense of style and taste than they did when they sold it to me. All right. I'm the second owner, and I wanted it in my collection. And I know that's kind of hard for some people to believe, but there's something to be said about that. And no doubt it's a very big watch. It's not going to be to everyone's liking. I mean, you can see the size of this thing. So it's not for everyone, but I decided that I did want to take a chance on it. And there are many other watches that are way worse than this that cost even more than this watch. Now, it does have a really big bracelet. It doesn't really wear so much like a regular watch. It kind of wears like I want to say like you're wearing a wristband that just happens to have a big watch on it. All right. So it's a big bracelet. The butterfly clasp is okay. I know it's very shiny because it's ceramic, and that carbon fiber does still kind of look pretty cool. Even, a decade later, it does kind of have some sense of like panache, if you will. Now, does this watch get the Bear Cave seal of approval? No, it doesn't. And it's because it's an older watch, and even when it came out, I don't think that it was very special for a lot of people, unless you're the salesman that was pushing it on TV, or you're a diehard Swiss Legend, fanboy. Yeah, it says Swiss movement, and but does it have the pedigree? I'm not really sure. It's something that it's an acquired taste. Now, it does have, a signed crown, and it is a very grippy crown. It does have the pushers on there that do work. But it's not a watch that's for everyone, and I know that. But this is a watch that I purchased because I liked it and I wanted it in my collection. And it's obvious I'm not going to be getting any paid promotion from Swiss Legend or from Shop NBC for this watch, but I did want to bring you something different because I've said this before. A lot of watch companies out there, even Kickstarters and new small micro brands, they're hesitant to take a chance on the smaller watch reviewer because they think, well, they're not going to reach as many people. But we've already passed the first 1,000, and I remember a long time ago talking to another watch reviewer who said, once you get through the first 1,000, it's easy. So, am I doing this for a job? No. Am I doing this because I like reviewing watches and just want to have something to do? Yes. So as long as you can appreciate that and appreciate the fact that I'm always going to show you something a little bit different, maybe something vintage, maybe something a little older, but that's my goal with this channel. This is the Swiss Legend Throttle Black Ceramic 10028. And if you like this review, please give it a like and a subscribe. If you know somebody who's into watches, and wants to see something a little different than the same 10 watches that get reviewed all the time, let him know about my channel. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and we will see you next time.